Welcome to the channel on the almost free to play account. We're going to be pulling shards today. Now, if you're new to this channel or you're new to this account, the plan for this account is to spend less than $20 a month. To date, we've spent $15. The account's only 19 days old. Now, we decided pretty early on we're not going to go for the fusion. Multiple reasons, basically it's a brand new account, 19-day-old account. But we did go pretty hard on some of the events just because the rewards were amazing. And one of those events that we went really hard on was the champion training event. And that's just because it's a new account and we needed level 60s anyways. So right now, you can see we're sitting number one on the account, or number one in this tournament. But most importantly is we earned a Prism Shard. And if you don't know, Prism Shards are amazing, especially when the pool is as good as it is this time around. Now, you go over here, we're going to look at summoning pool, and you can just look. This summoning pool is just packed full of good champions. Usually they are good champions, not always. And generally you got to spend money to get these. It's definitely a way that Plarium goes after, people's wallets. But look at Tagore, amazing. Tagore. Venomage, I love Venomage. We don't have a Ugo on this account. We do have a Tagore, but I would take a duplicate Tagore even because, having that Faction Guardian would give us plus 5% health to everybody, including Tagore or all the epics in the orc faction. Seeker, amazing. Miscreated monster, amazing at PvP. Like all of these, maybe one of them, two of them suck, right? Allure has been in the game since the day the game released. Amazing champion, especially for Doom Tower content. This is just an amazing pool of champions. Now, there are some great legendaries also, but realistically, we're not going to pull a legendary. It's just, we accepted that. I would love to have, the man. That just kind of unlocks a little bit of PvP amazingness here. But, we're not going to pull a legendary. But these epics are amazing, and the thing about this is you have to pull it, or you might as well pull it, because when the event ends, it just pulls the shard for you anyways. It can be useful for like champion chases to earn these, not pull them, and then the champion, it'll just go up here into your box, and you can, earn the champion later. I think that still works, but we're not going to do that. We're going to pull. We're also going to pull 20 ancient shards, just because it's if you get a legendary, you get a free legendary. Again, this account is only 19 days old, so there's tons of stuff that we can benefit from. I'll just show you the champions real quick, just in case you are new. So we pulled a Geomancer, literally the first shard that I pulled on this account. Pulled Geomancer. Amazing luck. It just is what it is. Of course, we have Tagore. We used a content creator Vulcan's account. I'll try to remember to link his channel in the description. I don't have one of those link codes that everybody, advertises or whatever. It's not really something I'm interested in. But I used his code, and with his code, you get Tagore, you get Fane, and then we just unlocked Deacon, so you get Deacon, and then you get, and then you get Mausoleum Mage. So these four heroes were the ones that, or the champions were the ones that we got with the promo code that everybody cycles around, or everybody kind of has their own codes. I think this one was amazing. It was the whole point I started this series or this channel. So those are the four heroes that we started with. I did pull a Dark Elhain at one point. I love Dark Elhain. I think she's amazing. And then we got Madame Saris, was kind of like an old cold that was floating around. That I don't even know how old it was, but it just like popped up, and turned out it was still active. We used it. I read that it's not active anymore, so it was like a really small window that it was working. And then we of course got more Bronze Lock, because some of the events gave us the Plarium points. And then, of course, we spent the $15, so we had a little bit of boost on that anyways. So we unlocked Morag. And then the $15 that we have spent on this account was to get the starter pass or whatever, and we unlocked Rectored Wrath. So we have some like really good champions going on to here, especially in the epics. And early on, I really tried to build around epics, just because one, we know about them, they're easier for people to get their hands on. And when you pull shards, just the likelihood of pulling epics is much higher. So we've kind of focused on building these out. So I'm not disappointed at all that we're not sitting on any gold here. You always want the legendaries, yes. But the reality is those are just really hard to pull anyway. So it is what it is. So let's get in here. Let's do our first pulls. We're just going to pull these ancients really fast. Again, we're just hoping for probably a good epics. Legendary would be great, but we really are going into this, and I think it's important to keep saying that, just because this is how they get us to spending money, and it can fall down that rabbit hole. So I think it's healthy to kind of go into these thinking, hey, what epics would I want to pull? Just my personal opinion, but that's how I do go about this. So let's pull this here. Let's see what we got going on. Hell Freak, nah. Rearguard Sergeant's not horrible. I will take it. Mordecai. Oh my goodness. If you are new to the channel, I have vision problems, right? I couldn't see who we'd pulled. I am super excited about the Mordecai. That's what I was talking about. You just got to be happy with the epics. Okay, this is a decrease of defense, which we don't have a lot of, so I'll take that. And the decreased attack. She's not a horrible hero or champion. She is an ally protect. Now, I don't have ally protect, and I kind of want to build ally protect for our clan boss. So I definitely will take an ally protect. But yeah, not a bad champion. She's great. We already have so many epics to book out and stuff, and I kind of feel like that she needs to be booked out to really come into her own. But not a bad champion. I'm happy with that. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, Mordecai. He is probably one of the best HP burners in the game. Yes, obviously there's some better legendaries, but he is an amazing HP burner. And he has a lot of turn control, which is even better, right? Because turn control is just amazing. So, attacks one enemy, has a chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 10%. Has a 60% chance instead if the target is under an HP burn. And then you go down here to his A3. Has a 75% chance of placing HP debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Again, he doesn't play well with somebody like Geo, but that's pretty amazing. And then his A2 has a 75% chance of decreasing the turn meter of all enemies by 15%. An amazing hero. I am super happy to pull him. Increases all allies accuracy in all battles by 40. Accuracy by all battles by 40. An amazing champion. This is going to help the account out a lot. I'm super excited. He's just obviously going to be slotted into my non-geo kind of teams. But yeah, that makes me really happy. I am super happy with that pull. All right. Let's get in here and let's pull the next 10. Let's hope to have the same good luck. Oh, got to make room, of course. Okay, we're back. I made room. I also had to run a couple of campaign rounds because when I was making room, I spent all my silver. Didn't have enough silver to pull these because, silver, it just flows over, right? We never have too much silver, or always have too much silver. Okay, let's pull this. Let's see if we can get just as lucky. I'm super happy about Mordecai. That I am kind of giddy about having pulled Mordecai. I have no idea. Another ally protect. Has a 30% chance of placing stun buff. Here we go. Places a 30% reflect damage buff on all allies for 2 turns and 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 1 turn. Then heals all these allies for 15% max hit points. Revives 2 random allies 50%. Then fills their turn meters by 50%. Really good hero. Our champion. I keep calling him heroes today. Great champion. I really enjoy him. There's a bunch of really fun teams that you can put him on. And then I have no idea. I don't know anything about this champion. So we're going to be reading this one both for the first time. Okay. Attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Damage based on defense. I love defense-based champions. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased crit rate debuff for 2 turns. I don't care about that. That's obviously more of a PvP kind of a thing. And 30% decreased crit rate isn't anything to laugh at, so that's decent enough here. Attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 2 turns. Also heals this champion by 20% of their max hit points. Damage based on defense. Okay. Self-heal there and a provoke. I don't know a whole lot about him. I'll kind of look into it or see. On the surface, it doesn't seem like a champion that's gonna fill like an amazing hole in my teams or anything like that. Now he is Undead Horde, which is great because we already have a couple of really good Undead Horde champions. So he's definitely going to work out well in our faction wars, especially with the new faction wars hard coming out. We'd like to get there as soon as we can because can't experience that obviously for a while. Increase ally defense in all faction crypts. Yeah, so definitely useful in faction wars. I'm super happy. But, Dur, I don't know how to say his name. Dur, he's great. I enjoy him. There's some clan boss teams that really make kind of good use of him, especially early on here. So we might be able to do fun stuff with him. Rear Guard Sergeant's going to be a better ally protector, I think. Might have to do some testing on that or whatever to kind of figure that out. But no, we didn't pull the, free, get one free legendary kind of situation there, but a couple of really good epics, and that's the best part about being on an account this young is that everything kind of helps. But I'm pleased with that. Now this is going to be a win because no chances of rares or anything like that. We're guaranteed at least an epic, and there's honestly only one epic in here that I don't want to get my hands on. But I'm honestly not going to be disappointed now because I pulled Mordecai and I love Mordecai. So we're going to just roll our dice here. Let's see. I think if I could pick anybody here, we've just pulled 2 ally protects, but I think the frog would be great. And I think maybe Venomage, Seeker. I think those 3 are kind of maybe just because of personal, those are the ones I enjoy playing the most. But I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Nice. Cornelia. Not the worst champion, not the best champion, right? She attacks one enemy, has 30% or has a 40% chance of increasing the cooldown of one of the target's skills by 2 turns. Super useful just for control. She is a control champion. Now she has some this skill right here has an 80% chance of placing a sleep debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Has an 80% chance of placing sleep debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Okay. Her passive, whenever an enemy loses sleep debuff, placed by this skill, has a 50% chance of replacing it with a fear debuff for 1 turn instead. Super useful. This is kind of her, again, the A3, right? It's the big boys, or the big, selling point on most champions. Places a sleep debuff on an ally for 1 turn, heals that ally by 50% of their max hit points, and fills their turn meter by 50% when the sleep debuff expires or gets removed. Heals the ally by 100% and completely fills their turn meter if the sleep debuff is lost due to taking damage from an enemy. And this is what allows her to kind of cheese content. Because if she's the only ally, if she's the only person on your team, she puts the sleep debuff on herself, she gets smacked, it wakes her up, it heals her for 100%. Rinse, repeat. So she's really useful for cheesing some content. It's just pretty much is it. Yeah, she's a fun champion. She's fun. Again, not game breaking or anything like that. She's definitely useful in those areas that she can cheese. We'll hide that like that when those things come up as I get her built. But yeah, I'm not completely disappointed with that. There's definitely better champions we could have pulled. But yeah, no, I'm completely happy with it. And again, I pulled Mordecai. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. YouTube thinks that you're going to like one of these bloops. And appreciate you. Thanks.